right, kind of a get in touch with your feelings meeting of the Republican conference, from what I gather earlier this afternoon. Kind of like a 12-step meeting, maybe. Anyway, the question is, does my friend Steve Scalise still have the votes to be the next speaker? Here to tell us, we welcome back Congressman John James of the great state of Michigan. Congressman James, thank you, sir. So how was that? Did people get in touch with their feelings? And is Steve Scalise still at the center of their feelings?
Yeah, you're absolutely right to poke fun at that, because frankly, nobody cares about our feelings. What people care about is our wide open border with threats, with 2 million gotaways that are right now in the homeland. What people care about is the fact that with the Bidenflation caused by this administration, everyone is struggling to make ends meet. People want Congress to pull their heads out of their backside, figure out how we can get a Republican speaker right now, not tomorrow, right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm solidly for moving on and make sure we get a Republican speaker as quickly as possible.
Well, how did Steve Scalise do today, John?
I think that he acquitted himself quite nicely. And make no mistake, I've served in the military. I've been to combat, and Kevin McCarthy is one of the greatest leaders I've ever served with. But because of 212 Democrats and 8 rogue Republicans, representing only 4% of our party, we now have no speaker. I supported Steve Scalise because I believe that he is the absolute best to make sure that we have the continuity and the conservative will to move our nation forward, to get the most conservative bills passed through the House, to the Senate, and signed by the President possible. And anyone bringing up negatives, I keep hearing about his health. Well, frankly, I actually believe that suffering actually makes us better leaders. And through Steve's suffering and continuing to be resilient, getting things through, and continuing to rise in spite of the odds will help him to understand our suffering more when so many Americans are hurting. I think that should be a qualifier for a speaker. He is more healthy than we originally thought. He's the leader who we need. And I'm excited to vote for Steve. But I swore an allegiance to the United States of America, and everybody understands that our priority is not with any man, but our priority is for our country, making sure we get a conservative speaker to move our nation forward.
Look, they shot at him, and he recovered. And his top staff are telling me he's way ahead of his cancer cure. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but that's what they say. But the question is, Politico wrote a tough story, John James, and I don't, Politico, I don't want to use them as the be-all. I'm just saying, it was one of these thumbsucker stories about how it's all falling apart for Scalise, and I just wanted to hear from you that it's not. Or if it is falling apart, maybe you'll be honest and tell us.
I'll just tell you right now, I don't get entrenched in the soap opera that's going on right now. The majority of the conference wants to continue to unify, to make sure that we're working on things like securing our border now, like lowering the cost of inflation now, like getting energy independence now, to make sure that we go against Hamas and protect Israel now. And the majority of the delegation, the majority of the conference is there. They don't care about feelings. They want to work with pragmatism, and they want to work to get back to work right now. And there's a very strong movement right now to stay here until we get this done.
Yeah,
and I agree.
I thought that's what might happen. Congressman, I don't mean to put you on the spot or be disrespectful, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how about that? Steve Scalise, 10, 5, 0, how would you rank it? I'm pressed for time.
Well, if I could wave my magic wand riding into my white horse and fix this town, we would have done a lot more to rein in the federal government and a lot of the spending. I'm one vote, and my support right now is for Steve Scalise, but ultimately it's going to be getting right back on track, getting a conservative speaker, and getting back to work here in Washington.
No, that's important. You said you'd vote for Scalise. I want to hear that. That's important. We appreciate it very much. We appreciate the fact you've been coming on our show, and we hope to see you very soon. Congressman John James of Michigan. You bet.